everybody, it's Tara, and today we are going to be fan casting the Lunar Chronicles. If you don't know what fan casting is, it's when you choose real people, usually celebrities, to play characters in a book or series. I fan cast everything that I read or write. I visualize books like a movie in my mind, so I need to have a face and a voice to put to characters, or else they're just shadows in my mind movie. So today I thought I would share my fan cast for one of my favorite series of all time, The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. And if you've been living under a rock for the past few years and you have no idea what the Lunar Chronicles are, let me tell you a little bit about them. The Lunar Chronicles is set in a distant future where humans coexist with cyborgs and androids and are rapidly falling to a deadly disease that is sweeping across the Earth. With the fragile peace between the Earthens and the mind-controlling Lunars who live on the moon close to its breaking point, a rebellion against the Lunar Queen starts to rise, with a search for the long-lost Lunar Princess who might just be the key to saving both worlds. Each of our four heroines' individual stories are retellings of classic fairy tales. Cinder is Cinderella, Scarlet is Little Red Riding Hood, Crest is Rapunzel, and Winter is Snow White. The very first time I read the Lunar Chronicles, it instantly grabbed a spot in my top 3 favorite series of all time, and I can't imagine anything else ever kicking it out of there. If you have not read the series, I cannot recommend it highly enough. Not only are the retellings themselves amazing, but the overarching story that ties it all together is honestly one of the best I've ever read. And if you haven't read the series, fear not, this video will be 100% spoiler free. So let's kick things off with Cinder. Cinder is not quite the Cinderella that you know and love. She is a cyborg, and she's looked down upon for being one, especially by her awful stepmother and stepsister. And because of the world's prejudice against cyborgs, Cinder is very self-conscious about her cyborg parts, and she tries to keep them hidden at all times. Cinder works as a mechanic in a new Beijing marketplace until she finds herself at the head of a revolution. For Cinder, I chose Jamie Chung for no real reason other than she was the first person that popped into my head when I was reading Cinder, maybe because Cinder always has a ponytail, and I'm pretty sure it's not as elaborate a hairstyle as Jamie Chung had as Mulan in Once Upon a Time, but that's where my head went, and ever since then she's been my Cinder. I don't think I've seen Jamie Chung in anything except Once Upon a Time, but she was pretty badass in that as Mulan, and Cinder is something of a badass herself, so I think she could definitely pull off the role. Next up is Kaito, the young prince of New Beijing and pretty much the world's most popular teen heartthrob. With his father dying of the Latomosis plague, Kai expects to soon be crowned the new emperor and to bear not only the burden of ruling the Eastern Commonwealth, but of maintaining the fragile peace between Earth and Luna, possibly through a marriage alliance with the Lunar Queen Levana. For Kai, I went with Jasper Liu. I honestly have no idea who he is. I saw him on someone else's fan cast, and he has come the closest to how I pictured Kai in my head as anyone else has in all my years of searching. I always thought of Kai as this mixture of both young and innocent, but very intelligent and businesslike and regal, and I think Jasper Liu fits that look pretty well. Moving on to the second book of the series, we have Scarlet, a fiery and hot-tempered farm girl and pilot who thinks first and acts later, who isn't afraid to speak her mind or to throw a punch when the need arises. Scarlet has flaming red hair and is never seen without her signature red hoodie. This might have been the easiest choice for me, Karen Gillan. Fiery redhead and Karen Gillan, pretty much synonymous in my head. She has the spunk, she's got the fire, she's got the attitude, she's got the toughness. Karen Gillan just has everything that you would want to see in your Scarlet. Watch any episode of Doctor Who where she plays Amy Pond, and you're basically watching her play Scarlet. And next up is Wolf. When we meet Wolf, he is a street fighter, but there is a lot more to his story than that. He is quiet and shy around most people, but that only hides his powerful and intimidating true nature. I gotta go with Jared Padalecki for this. Anyone who plays Wolf would have to have some serious stature, and Jared is 6'4", and he got pretty darn buff for Supernatural, so check. I also think he looks kind of rough and wild and wolfish when he's got longer hair and a little bit of scruff on his face, so double check. He might be a little bit too pretty to play Wolf, but I think he works. Moving on to the heroine of book 3, we have Crest, our Rapunzel, but instead of being trapped in a tower, Crest is trapped in a satellite that orbits Earth, where she runs surveillance on the Earthens and hacks their computer and media networks for Queen Lavanna until she decides to help Cinder and her band of rebels instead. Crest is sweet and shy and more than a little socially inept, and she has an overactive imagination and she's a total romantic at heart. For Crest, I chose ANNASOPHIA ROBB. Those big eyes and that big smile just scream Crest to me. She just looks so bubbly and so fun and energetic all the time, and that's exactly how I picture Crest. Bonus points for her only being 5 feet tall because Crest herself is very petite, and she even looks cute in short hair. And then there's Thorne. Thorne. Who doesn't love Thorne? Thorne is a con man, a military deserter, and an internationally wanted thief. He is cocky and flirtatious, he's always got a witty or sarcastic comeback, and he insists that he isn't a good guy, even though he actually is. Sam CLAFIN. Cocky, flirtatious, sarcastic. Is there any other choice but Sam CLAFIN? Just look at that smile and tell me he wasn't born to play Thorne. I was maybe 3 paragraphs into Thorne's first appearance in the series when I could very easily picture Sam CLAFIN playing him in my head. And I've seen him on so many other fan casts for the Lunar Chronicles that I know I'm not alone in this. Next up we have the gentle, whimsical, and dreamy Winter. Winter suffers from delusions and hallucinations from refusing to use her lunar gifts because she feels that strongly about not controlling the minds of others. Even without using glamour, Winter is considered to be the most beautiful and most beloved woman on all of Luna, much to the chagrin of her very jealous stepmother, Queen Lavanna. This was another instant choice for me, NATHALIE EMMANUEL. She is beyond beautiful, and she has that sweet, innocent, almost childlike face that I think Winter would have. And as Missandei in Game of Thrones, she's very soft-spoken and stoic and quiet in a way that really reminds me of Winter. She is lighter skinned than Winter is supposed to be, but other than that, I think she's absolutely perfect, and I cannot imagine anyone else playing Winter. Marissa Meyer actually has a picture of NATHALIE EMMANUEL on her inspiration board on Pinterest for the Lunar Chronicles, so I think she agrees with me on this. Next up we have Jason. Jason is a royal guard and a pilot in the Lunar Army, and he is the perfect soldier, always keeping a cool head and a straight face. He can come off as cold and abrasive, but underneath that stony exterior he has a heart that cares very deeply for his friends and family. This was another easy choice for me, Alex PETTYFER, because Lunars are known as being exquisitely beautiful, and just look at him. He's so pretty, and I think he could really pull off that stone-faced guard look as well as the romantic guy head over heels in love. And now we come to everyone's favorite android, Eco. Eco has a faulty personality chip that gives her one hell of a personality. She is passionate and excitable and incredibly loyal and boy crazy, and she loves fashion. Eco goes through a few different forms throughout the story, one of which is a drop-dead gorgeous escort droid that is essentially indistinguishable from a human. And for that form I chose Zoe Saldana because Eco is happy and smiling for like 98% of the series, and Zoe has such a big, beautiful smile. I can easily picture her bouncing around the room, squealing over a fabulous ball gown, while everyone else just broods and bickers. And last but certainly not least, every fairy tale needs an evil queen, and Queen Lavanna most certainly fits that bill. She is obsessed with power, and she'll do anything to not only keep the lunar throne, but to extend her reign to Earth as well. Lavanna is highly skilled with the lunar gift of mind manipulation, and she uses it to control everyone around her, allies and enemies both, and she is never seen without either the glamour that makes her outrageously beautiful or the white veil that hides her true appearance. Is there any other choice for Lavanna but Angelina Jolie? Do I even need to explain this? I don't think anyone's more outrageously beautiful, and she pulls off regal so well, you want to bow down to her. And she can also do evil and vicious and terrifying just as easily. Just look at her, she is Lavanna. So there you have it, my fan cast for the Lunar Chronicles, and now I want to hear who you guys pictured as Cinder and Scarlet and Crest and Winter and all the rest. Like I said before, I fan cast literally everything that I read, and I would love to share more of that with you guys, especially for 2 of my other favorite series, the Illuminae Files and the Shades of Magic series. So let me know down below if that is something that you'd be interested in, or if there's any other books or series that you'd like to see me fan cast. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my fan cast, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. And until next time, happy reading and happy fan casting. Bye-bye. Maintaining the fragile peace between Earth and Luna, possibly through a marriage license license? Possibly through a marriage license. Not marriage license. Winter is considered the most beautiful and the most beloved woman on all of Luna. Winter suffers from delusions and hallucinations from refusing to lose. Even without using. Why is this so hard? And Marissa Meyer actually has a picture of NATHALIE Emmanuel in a picture of NATHALIE Emmanuel in her inspiration board for the Lunar Chronicles on Pinterest. Oh, here goes the rain. Fantastic.